Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a preschool in review video and tell you how our preschool year went. We had a preschooler that was 3 years old this year, and our main goal for him was to focus on the core, reading, writing, and math in a gentle way, in a gentle introduction to school. And so our sessions were 30 to 45 minutes, and we didn't do them every day. We did them like 3 times a week. But he loved school so much that on the days that we didn't do school, and there's always something for him to do on the shelves anyway, he was always pulling my arm like, I want to do schoolwork. He loved school, and I think that was my favorite thing this year, the fact that he loved school so much. You know, a lot of you guys, you contact me and tell me your kids don't want to do school. They totally hate anything that has to do with a book. And so my goal this year was to pick curriculum that was going to give him the confidence and the joy in school. And that is exactly what I did, because there are some curriculum that are written in a way that really takes the confidence away from children. And so these workbooks, they are good. They set a good foundation level for preschool, but also they're very gentle, very easy to do. So let's start with math. This is math preschool workbook. And this book focused on number quantity, number recognition, counting, shapes, measurement, position, patterns, so many things, but in a way that he absolutely loved it. All he needed to do to do this workbook was color in, circle things, draw lines. It was just a really simple workbook, and at the same time he was learning all of those foundational concepts that are needed to be learned. So stay to the end so I can show you a look inside. Then for writing, one of the first things that we had him do was do a coloring book. And I know it seems simplistic because you're like, coloring? My kids don't like coloring, especially for boys. I think it seems more of a challenge, but coloring really helps strengthen the hands for writing. It helps them also focus and be able to concentrate on one thing, right? So when he first started doing this, it was pretty sloppy. And I would say, I just want you to focus on one page and just try your best to stay within the lines. And he had a lot of trouble with that. I have a little song that he would sing. Actually, I have a whole video on coloring and its importance, and I'll link it below for you guys. But I noticed that he got better as time went by, and he was able to stay within the lines. So I knew that this was helping him, and I wanted him to be able to strengthen his hands, because the way that the children hold their hands matters. I've made a whole video on how to have the children use their tripod grip and hold the pencil correctly from the beginning. It really makes a difference. Sometimes kids get tired or their hands start to hurt because they're holding their pencils or their crayons or their markers the wrong way. So it's really important. Once I got him to hold it the right way and feel comfortable coloring these pages, we can move on now to learning to write letters. So what I did was I had a little dry erase board, and he had his little dry erase board, and I would draw a letter, and I wanted him to copy step by step, drawing the letter. We went letter by letter until he learned to write his letters and numbers. Then we went to a workbook. Now I wanted him to actually write it in a workbook with a pencil or with a marker. And stay with me to the end because I'll show you a look inside. It uses a particular letter order. It starts with the easiest letters first. There are easier letters to start with. You don't want to start with, for example, the letter B. Any letters that have curves are much harder to write with. So much harder to write. So it's really important to have a good letter order. So stay with me to the end so I can show you the letter order. Then for reading, our goal this year was that he would learn how to read. All of our children, and this is our 4th child that has learned to read by the age of 3. We have a very simple method here in our home that we use to teach children to read, and we made a whole tutorial on that, and you can go ahead and take a look at it. It's free here on YouTube, and so many people have taught their children to read with that method. It's very simple. You just take flashcards and you flash the letter sounds. A, B, K, D. Once they've learned those letter sounds, they can start blending those sounds into 2 and 3 letter words, and they're reading. It's really, really simple. So this year, once he learned his letter sounds, we went on to this Phonics binder. It's a reading binder. You can also get the printout on Amazon. And then he was able to work one lesson at a time, blending and learning his blends until he got to reading 3-letter words. So he got about halfway through this binder. I'll show you towards the end what it looks like inside. And it was a really good binder. He was excited. It has a little sticker system, so he's excited anything with stickers and rewards, and it just made him excited. Then we also did this preschool literacy workbook, and this is a book to focus on drilling the phonics. So focusing on letter recognition, letter sounds, beginning letter sounds, the middle sounds, the ending sounds, rhyming. And it's just a really good book because, again, it doesn't have any writing in it. It was just coloring through, and it was just a fun book to really focus on phonemic awareness. So those are the workbooks that we use. Aside from that, we had a little shelf for him, and we did Montessori inspired activities that we changed out about twice a week. He really loved them, and he was really excited to do them. Every day he wanted to do the same activity over, and I didn't mind because we only changed out the shelf about twice a week. And I have tons of videos on our Montessori inspired activities, so if you guys want to see some of those videos, feel free to. I'll try to link some below in the description box of the video. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring you a little closer so that you can see inside of the workbooks. Let's start with the Preschooler Beginner Math Workbook. And this is a very gentle book that you're going to be using their coloring to write down their answers. Here's finding all of the squares and coloring them red. Here is counting and circling their answer. Counting and circling their answer. The book goes on and on like this, going through every number and going through every shape. Finding activities are just really fun for kids. Here's a visual discrimination where they have to match the different leaves. Here is left and right activity where they have to color the different vehicles. Here is coloring all of the small ants brown. Good sizing activity. And then here's another one, coloring the fireflies that are inside of the jar. And the book goes on and on. It's very gentle at first, with only counting 1, 2, and 3 objects and finding the shapes. And here is coloring the longest animal on each row, and it goes on and on. As you go towards the back, it starts counting more, and we're going up to the number 8 now, finding the number 8. The visual discrimination gets a little harder as they have to really focus, and the counting is, they're counting a lot more numbers at this point. So I think it's a really good book overall. I didn't get to show you all of the things in here, but there's patterns, there's a lot of different activities. Let's move on now to Preschool Literacy. And this book is going to focus on all phonics and letters. So here's finding the letters that look alike, being able to find the letters among letters that look alike. Here's another activity where they have to find the beginning letter sound. Here's matching uppercase and lowercase letters. Here's finding the beginning letter sound for each of the pictures. Here is coloring all of the D's, lowercase and uppercase, so it's letter recognition as well. And it's going to go to every letter of the alphabet the same manner, where they have to find the beginning letter sounds. It also does a little bit of rhyming, and they have to figure out what rhymes. And it's just a really fun book. Again, you're seeing here that it's just basically coloring and circling. Going on now to Preschool Writing Workbook. So it has a letter order, so it starts off with easy letters like the L. It's a very easy letter to start with. Then it moves on to other letters that have just those horizontal and vertical lines. So as you can see, if you can do the I, then you can do the T because it follows a particular order. If you can do the E, you surely can do the F as well. So as you can see, it goes and it focuses on the straight lines, then it goes on to some slanted lines next. So if you can do the V, then you could surely do the Y because the Y has a V in it. So as you can see, it has a particular logical order of introducing the letters. So my son is going to work on the second half of this book for next year, which is writing the letters. He focused on tracing them. The first half of the book was tracing them. Then he's going to focus on writing uppercase and lowercase for kindergarten. Then we did the My First Name book. It's just a notebook that we took, and we had him practice writing his name. We started very gentle at first, and we started with just having him write one letter at a time from his name. So we would first do the dry erase board, and then he would come to the notebook and practice that letter of his name for that particular day. Then he would write his whole name once he's done practicing all the letters. Then the next time he would do 2 letters at a time from his name. Then he would continue practicing as many letters as possible and then get to writing his whole entire name. Then we'll proceed to 3 letters of his name. And then as many letters as possible, and then writing his full name. Then we got to a point where he was writing his full name the whole time in different ways. Horizontal, vertical, in little circles. Just having him write his name over and over was a really good practice for him. And now he can write his name. So it was a really good book for him to do. And it's really simple. We just got this book, and it has this blank pages. And I just went ahead and I wrote in all the little letters and the dots, and he did the tracing, and he wrote the letters on the dots there. So this is the My First Toddler Coloring Book, and this was just a great workbook to get him to stay within the lines and focus on the hand strength for writing, pre-writing. At first it was really sloppy, and it would take him a really long time, and he would tell me his hand would hurt. It was just one page at a time that he would do. And then he started getting better. He would stay within the lines. He would focus on his activity. He really started to enjoy it. And I did see a lot of improvement. And I really like that I'm going to be able to keep this first toddler coloring book as a keepsake for him. So I think it's a really good book to do for preschool. So I'm going to link it below for you guys in the description box. Here's our phonics reading binder. So once he learned his letter sounds, he can jump right into this phonics reading binder. It has a sticker chart system, so every lesson he gets a sticker. It has an alphabet chart. But basically, the child is going to jump right into consonant and vowel blends. And the lessons are short. They're only reading about 5 words per page, and then they get their sticker. As you can see, the vowels are in red so that they can elongate the vowels. It really helps the blending process. And it has the dots at the bottom so that the child can point and read. It really does help. And it really motivates them because, again, they can get their sticker right when they finish their lesson, and they're really excited to finish. I focus on mastery of these lessons, so I take my time. Sometimes I'll have them redo a lesson multiple days. Then they get to reading 3-letter words. And this is exciting because they're actually reading words that have a meaning now. And it's really exciting for them. I focus on word families in this binder. As you can see, very short lessons, very easy. And the entire binder is going to go over the 44 sounds of the English language as you progress to the second and the third levels. At the end, you're reading sentences. So it's really exciting for kids to be able to finish this binder and read sentences. I really like it. A lot of people have reported to me that they have finished level 1 and they're moving on to level 2 because their children are doing so well and they've learned to read on the binder. I'll link everything below for you guys in the description box. Alright, so those are the workbooks that we use for preschool, and for next year he's not going to do a repeat of preschool. That's a lot of people do 2 years of preschool. In my home, we do 1 good year of preschool. And when these books were written, they were written with preschool standards in mind. I have a whole checklist of preschool standards. If you think you can move your child up to kindergarten if you've done 1 year of preschool, I'll link that preschool checklist below. But these workbooks focus on laying that foundation so that they're ready for kindergarten the next year. So Luke, he's going to be 4 the next school year, and he's going to do a little bit of preschool work. He's going to continue on this writing, right, that he didn't finish. He's going to continue working on the reading binder also, But he's also moving on to kindergarten level work, which is great because now he is going to be a grade ahead of his peers, which is amazing for me. He is able to do these gentle workbooks and now is able to move on to kindergarten level math next year, which is great. And we're just going to continue working with him on his writing. Continue following me, you guys, because I can continue documenting his journey, and this is something that you guys can model after. But I'm going to link these books below in the description box if you're interested in them. They are really great workbooks. They were written in a way that is gentle but lays a good foundation for preschool. You could either get the download or you can get the printed book from Amazon. So I'm really just excited for him next year and where that takes him, because what excites me the most about him is his excitement for school. Like, probably the most excited kid I've seen for school is him. Like, from all of my kids, he is so excited. Even in the summertime, we're taking a break from school and he's bringing me the books and he wants to continue doing his school because he loves it and he feels a sense of value and like pride in himself. And I just love that. I love that because, you know, school is not supposed to be a dreadful chore. It's supposed to be something that you're excited about, and that's what we want to motivate our children to be, excited. So it's not just sitting down a child and doing like this busy work that's hard for them. Because I think when we give children that work that's hard and above what they can do, that's what makes them unmotivated and makes them feel like, you know what, school is hard. I don't want to do school. I love gentle books. If you guys follow me, I use workbooks that are self-led, that children can do on their own, but that also are good, really good workbooks that teach the core of each of the different subjects that I want to teach. So, another thing that I want to mention to you guys is that a lot of you guys are asking like, Jady, when's your next video? We miss you. And you guys want more content here on YouTube. Just know that I've been really, really busy because I have a private community. It's called Bloom Sisters. And so I work with these ladies. I make private videos for them. If you guys want to join us on there, come along. You could join us for a month. You could join us for a year. For however long you want. And it's just a great group of ladies. I make private videos. We have a good forum out there. And we just help each other out. And it's just a good place. So if you guys want to see me more often, that's the way to see me more often. Because I am putting a lot of my energy onto this private community. Well, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you have an amazing summer. Keep coming back to my videos. I'm going to continue putting content on here on YouTube, especially now that we are wrapping up the school and prepping up for the next year. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.